Text number 12. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmai namo bhagate vasudevaya dhimahi yanmayaya durjayaya mam vadanti jagadgurum. Tasmai, unto him, nama, offer my obeisances. Bhagate, unto the personality of Godhead. Vasudevaya, unto Lord Krishna. Dhimahi, do meditate upon him. Yat, by whose? Mayaya, potencies. Durjayaya, invincible. Mam, unto me. Vadanti, they say. Jagat, the world. Gurum, the master. Translation. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invincible potency influences them, the less intelligent class of men, to call me the Supreme Controller. Purport. As will be more clearly explained in the next verse, the illusory potency of the Lord bewilders the less intelligent to accept Brahmaji, or for that matter, any other person, as the Supreme Lord. Brahmaji, however, refuses to be called this, and he directly offers his respectful obeisances unto Lord Vasudeva, or Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, as he has already offered the same respects to him in Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Nadhiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. The Supreme Lord is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord in his transcendental body, the ultimate cause of all causes. I worship that primeval Lord, Govinda. Brahmaji is conscious of his actual position, and he knows how less intelligent persons, bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord, whimsically accept anyone and everyone as God. A responsible personality like Brahmaji refuses to be addressed as the Supreme Lord by his disciples or subordinates. But foolish persons praised by men of the nature of dogs, hawks, camels, and asses feel flattered to be addressed as the Supreme Lord. Why such persons take pleasure in being addressed as God, or why such persons are addressed as God by foolish admirers, is explained in the following verse. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swarupa Kadama Hyandadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Rare Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right. Okay. So we are in the middle of the conversation between Lord Brahma and Narada Muni. And Shukadeva Goswami chose this to retell this dialogue because the questions and answers are pertaining to the questions that Parikshit just expressed to Shukadeva. So he's retelling this dialogue. So this is a very not popular, but interesting and also, current. It's always, how to say, good to know about these topics that are described in this verse and purport. So here it's explained how Brahmaji didn't take credit that was offered to him for being the supreme personality in the scope of people who understand Vedic knowledge to a certain degree, right? So just like in Christianity, early Christianity, there's knowledge about that there is a creator per se, so like Krishna, or in our instance, Mahavishnu. And then there's also a secondary creator who is in charge of this material creation. And it's a different person. It's a subordinate person to the supreme controller, to the cause of all causes, Anadiradir. So there's no one behind it. And nowadays in Abrahamic religions, this knowledge is not so clearly expressed. So people are not aware of it so much. And generally, if we go out and we ask people, they would all say, the consensus would be, not all, obviously, but the mass of the people, they would say that the Lord, the Supreme Lord, is the creator of this material creation also. And that is, or if we look at it from the opposite point of view, the person who created this material creation is the Supreme Lord, right? So this is not a new thing. As we can see, this was there since time immemorial, that people were giving credits of being the original person, the supreme controller, to the creator of the material sphere. So Brahmaji, in this instance, he was very much aware of what his position is relative towards the Lord, and he didn't take credit for it. Of course, there's few instances where he was testing this position or this relationship out, right? When he was stealing the calves, when the boys, Krishna and the cowherd boys, were in the forest and the calves wandered out just at the time when they were resting, and then the cowherd boys were concerned because calves were really young, and they could just get into trouble by trying to find nice grass to graze on. And then Krishna said, okay, don't worry, you rest up. I'm gonna find them. So at that time, Brahmaji was already plotting what he's gonna do. And because he wasn't aware of his position and the position of Krishna. And yeah, but in this instance, he was explaining the tattva properly. And then Prabhupada expands it in the purport by saying that this doesn't only happen to Lord Brahma, but basically to every living entity. And this is not just something that we read about, and it's obviously it cannot happen to us because we are not so opulent in all these manifestations as Lord Brahma is, and we are aloof from this illusion. But actually, it is not so. As Prabhupada mentions, people who don't have knowledge, people who have understanding on the level of animals, so he describes dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, they praise these persons in capacity of the Supreme Lord. And the persons, even though actually fully aware of their limitations and their nature, they still claim this position unrightfully, right? And I'm gonna share a story. So when I was researching all these spiritual movements and philosophies, I came across many different yogis and personalities from India. Many of them are also mentioned in Radhanath Maharaj's book, which happens to be just here on the shelf. So when I was reading Radhanath Maharaj's book, I was very familiar with these personalities. And so the general situation is that all these yogis, they try to establish themselves as authorities on Vedic knowledge, on self-realization. And then they see how far it goes, right? How far can they take it? And very often, right, we have many examples in recent or even contemporary time. What they do is their following becomes so enamored by their persona and presentation that very soon they start referring to them as the Supreme for different reasons, right? But they start seeing them as the Lord, not just like the manifestation of Lord's mercy, but at the actual Lord himself coming and bestowing the mercy upon said followers. And so we all know Prabhupada is mentioning this many times. Sai Baba was like that. And Nityananda, if some of you are familiar with him, is a contemporary leader of a group. Also, Vishwananda, right? He's also contemporary personality. And if you see the writings of their followers or look at their websites or hear their classes, you can see many times not the inclination, but the assumption, or how to say the words clearly describe them as incarnations of the Lord. And this is very intoxicating, right? Why would you sell yourself short, right? If you are in your work job position and the project goes through, and you took part in it, you put a lot of effort into making it happen, and then once the review is underway and they want to give you more credit than what you did, who's the person who's gonna be honest and say, actually, this was not all my work and my colleague did this, or I got this from there, or this person did it. It wasn't me. Especially when they're already offering us a reward for it as a thank you for our exceptional performance, right? And we already see this new position that is about to be offered to me, or this amount of the reward of the bonus at the end of the financial year. Then it's difficult, right, to renounce and say, well, actually, I don't deserve this, right? Because we're all striving for it. Just recently, I saw this quote. A person said, I'm not here for the outcome. I'm here for the income, right? We're not working our jobs for the effect that our companies will have in the world. Generally, the main thing is what we have, what the result is, what we benefit, what benefit we get from it. So that means that we are in this compromised position, and we're always try to steer the situation towards our assumed benefit, let's say. So we won't be really honest in all occasions, because our goal is dishonest. And so the means to get there are also going to be questioned on the way. And it's difficult, right? You all been in these positions. And just to stay true to Vaishnava principles and just the principles of good conduct, of gentlemanly behavior, it's already a big task, right? Who can say that they have immaculate record in their career? It's a colossal performance if you have, right? It's something to be admired. So this intoxication is very deeply ingrained in our psyche. And this is also why such advanced personalities as Lord Brahma can also be affected. And we're not exempt from it. Far from it. We're actually deeply into it all the time. We're just not aware of the dynamics of what's going on. So we can see this also in the example of Prabhupada's early days, right? In 1970, when first temple was established, and already West Coast temple was already happening also, and devotees went to London already, where they were there. And then, so movement was expanding, and it was difficult to oversee everything. And while Prabhupada was trying to write the books and manage this whole thing, he was planning to attend Janmashtami celebrations in New Vrindavan. And Kirtanananda, at that time, he wrote to Prabhupada that actually it's not necessary that he would come there, and that they can manage themselves. And then Prabhupada, of course, other things were also happening, difficulties in the management. And then this letter kind of opened Prabhupada's eyes, and he realized that his movement is becoming impersonal. This disease of trying to take the credit and trying to be someone in the eyes of others is spreading within his movement. And then he said, okay, let me just go back to India, write my books, and let this movement just go on by itself. I cannot take trouble to repair whatever had already been done in terms of understanding and practical execution of the mission. So he went to India, and they had Vyasa Puja celebrations for Srila Prabhupada. And when they were glorifying him, so this was in America, these four new sannyasis, right? Before that, Kirtanananda was the only sannyasi. And then Prabhupada initiated four more. This was, I think, July, 20th of July. So he initiated four more brahmacharis. So that was Garga Muni, Brahmananda, so the two brothers, and Subal and Vishnujan. So he gave them sannyas. And so there were five then, along with Kirtanananda, five sannyasis in the movement. And then also two others were initiated right after. I forgot their names. And then the third one, Madhu Duisa. So there were 8 at that time. And these 4 started when Prabhupada was absent, right? He was in India, they were in America, and they were thinking about Prabhupada. They were glorifying him for his Vyasa Puja. And they started saying how Srila Prabhupada actually left them because we as disciples failed to recognize that he's actually the Supreme Lord. And he came there to give mercy to all the fallen souls. And even though we are following in his instructions and we're really trying to fulfill his desires, because we didn't spontaneously recognize his position and give him credit for it, he became offended and he left for India. And this was the philosophy that they were spreading. And when Prabhupada learned about this, he was very sad, right? And he immediately excommunicated them. Not like fully, but what he said was, you cannot really be in the association of devotees and continue on with this philosophy, spreading this understanding. So what you do is you go individually to different places and preach there, places where Krishna consciousness is not spread yet, and preach there. And in this way, you're gonna kind of like rehabilitate yourself in our society. So this was one of the drastic measures that Prabhupada had to accept in order to reprimand and set the society on the right track. And we do this also, right? Not just in the position that we thank others and glorify them, and then they become intoxicated by this position of being something better, something of a greater quality, some higher tattva than the rest. For instance, in everyday relationships, right? When we're in family position, let's say, father of the family, kids see him as the supreme, right? He's giving them shelter, he's protecting them, he's teaching them, he's providing everything for them. He is always there when they need him. So naturally, you grow some affection as a dependent on the father, right? When you're a kid. And this is intoxicating. right? I remember I was speaking with one of the devotees who were really giving a lot of service, doing a lot of giving a lot of energy, doing a lot of service for the mission in Slovenia. And then he was telling me how when they go for vacation with the family, so he has two kids, two daughters, and when they go to the beach and he's sitting there and he's just observing them play in the water, and then he said, I just have this enormous affection for them, and I would do everything for them, even though I'm aware that these are just jivas who are in temporary custody under me, and that I have to take care of them and guide them in Krishna consciousness. Still, even though I have this philosophical understanding, I have so much affection for them, just seeing how they are playing and their bodily movements and their expressions, and how all these emotions are playing out on their face and in their gestures. And he said, I know how this is all illusion, but it's so intoxicating. And this is true, right? We all have this experience. Now just imagine, not that just like a few kids see us like that, but the whole company sees us like that, right? If we're the leader of the department or even the boss of the company. And this subtle understanding, right? We think we understand what's going on, and we think, okay, this is real. This is our position. This is my position, and I have to act on it. So I have to take credit. I have to exhibit this capacity, and I have to firmly establish myself in this tattva that is being finally understood by the general mass of people. And the whole rat race that's going on is based on this, right? Everyone's trying to one-up each other. Oh, you guys bought new house. Yeah, we have 3 bedrooms, Prabhuji. And then immediately we go online and we're looking for 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom maybe. So we will be more firmly fixed in our leading position. So this thing is going on, and we can see also, for instance, how Krishna didn't take the credit, right? This is one of the really easy tests of the advancement of a personality. When such things happen, when such credit is presented to the person, if they don't take it, that means they have a deeper understanding of reality, of our relationship towards the Supreme as living entities. So, for instance, when Krishna was presented, or not presented, when he presented himself in the arena in Mathura, right, when they entered with Balaram just after killing Kuvalaya Dipida, and they were carrying the tusks on their shoulders, and they were sprinkled by the blood of the elephant, and this blood was glistening on their skin, and it was very decorative. So when they entered like that into the arena, all the assembled personalities saw them as the Supreme in a different capacity according to their understanding, right? Just like, so there were like ladies saw them as the most handsome young man. So Cupid personified young ladies. Then senior ladies saw him as the greatest child, right? And the fighters, the wrestlers, Chalura, Mushtika, and others, they saw him as thunderbolt personified. So just imagine you have to wrestle a thunderbolt or fight with a thunderbolt, right? You have no chance of defense, no chance of enduring, sustaining the attack that comes on you. defending from it. So Thunderbolt is like the hardest opponent that can ever be presented to you. So then you have Kamsa, he saw him as that personified. Right? So everyone saw him according to their understanding of the supreme absolute truth, according to their position, right? Their identification that they assumed. And what Krishna did after the whole commotion, after the whole thing went down, right? Then they won the tournament, the wrestling tournament. And at the end, the cowherd boys, so they were also there because they came for the festivities. They entered the arena, the fighting area, the ring, and they fought with Krishna and Balaram, and they defeated them. So that meant that not only Krishna defeated all these supremely qualified wrestlers, and he was just a kid against this mountainous, huge, full of muscle champions. After that, his friends, Krishna's friends, the cowherd boys, defeated him. So he immediately established that actually I'm no one, right? And that even my friends, my cowherd boyfriends, who are just kids, are so much stronger than me. So what to speak of our elders and others in our community who are older? I'm just no one, right? And Krishna, in this way, exhibited how we shouldn't strive for this, to be in the position of the Supreme Lord in this subtle way. I mean, even if we are put in this position, we shouldn't start getting intoxicated by it and taking credit for it, because then very soon Krishna is gonna have to dispel this illusion that we have, and we're also trying to put others under, right? So this is happening all the time in spiritual circles, in professional circles, in social settings, with friends, with family members, like that. And this is the tendency, because nobody wants to be no one, right? Nobody wants to be under someone, because if you're under someone, that means you have to serve them. They take advantage of you. You don't get the credit. And this is not what we want. But actually, and this is also the reason why we don't want to surrender to Krishna, because we think if I'm gonna surrender, I'm gonna be taken advantage of, and I'm not gonna live my full life because somebody else is gonna live their life to the fuller capacity on my expense. And I don't want that. And this is just us bringing our material understanding into spiritual life. Because Krishna is not like that, right? Because he doesn't need this claim to fame, right? Claim of being someone, something better, something bigger than what he is, because he already is that. So he doesn't have to reestablish himself or fake it to make it, right? But we're always striving for this, because this is our identification with material designations that we are put in as members of the society, of members of the family, citizens of the country, right? We always have to play these roles, and we want to improve upon them, right? We want to climb up the ladder. But actually, if we would be aware of our identity as a spirit soul who is here to reclaim their relationship with Krishna and work on that, then we wouldn't be taking part in this race, in this rat race for prestigious misidentification of ourselves. And we wouldn't be buying into others trying to establish us as such, right? So Lord Brahma was very sober here. And the Lord also gives the opportunity to everyone to act in this capacity if they want to. So that's why he bewilders their intelligence. And so likewise, the leaders and the followers of such misidentification become encouraged in their actions just so they would become purified through it. And they would learn that this is an illusion and this is something that it's not gonna fulfill our deepest hankerings for reclaiming our spiritual nature of Satchitananda, of being full of bliss, happiness, and being fully aware of this. Yeah, so this is it. Please, if you have a question or a comment, come forward and we can take it from there. Hare Krishna.
Hi Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for a beautiful class. You mentioned in the class that we all have this mentality that we don't want to surrender, or we don't want to work for anyone else because we don't want them to make bigger or look bigger under our expenses. So how do we come over that mentality?
Yeah, this is a good question because this is what's holding us back, right? And the thing is that if we just analyze it, we are misunderstanding the situation. We're not seeing the whole picture, right? So we're not aware of all the variables that are at play at the particular situation. So if we would be aware of who we are, right, that we are spirit souls, and what that means in terms of our path towards perfection or towards fulfillment of our goals, which is to be happy generally, then we would take a different course of actions and we would have a different playbook by which we would decide what to do, right? But because our identity is mistaken by ourselves, then the whole plan and all the investments that we're making, they're gonna backfire on us and we're not really gonna get any return on it. So atato brahma jigyasa, right? Atato, therefore, ata is now, like now, or this is the situation. To, after. So now it's like this, but we have to inquire into what needs to be done. We need to make an adjustment. We have to inquire and act upon the answers that we get. So this is the meaning of Atato Brahma Jigyasa, that it's never too late. It's always we need to reassess the situation. Always we need to find the right things to do in whatever situation we are. It's not that it's too late or I'm so far invested or whatever, or this is not, I'm so old or whatever is there, the argument against it, it doesn't stand. Because this is the first premise of the Vedic knowledge, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. So we have to inquire. And this is so important because the whole thing, whatever we do, is based on that, right? This is our vantage point. So if we don't have a clear understanding where we're standing, understanding or where we're at and who we are, then we cannot act upon it properly. So this is the problem. Because we think, I'm the employee, I'm the mother, I'm part of this community, I'm Australian, I'm Indian, I'm European, then all our actions are based on that. And because this is an illusion, right? This is an upadi, so misidentification. That means that whatever actions that are gonna follow based on this, they're gonna miss the mark. We're not gonna benefit from it. So we have to reevaluate ourselves, reinvent ourselves in terms of us being servants of Krishna, us being initiated or taking part in the mission of Lord Chaitanya, which was presented to us by Srila Prabhupada, and it's upheld by his followers. So we have to take identification in this capacity and base our actions or whatever assets and qualities and abilities that we have to put them against this, right? So if I'm a mother, I'm gonna exhibit my motherly propensities and qualities in relation to the movement of Lord Chaitanya. So I'm gonna take care of the devotees, I'm gonna cook for them, I'm gonna make sure that they are well take care for in terms of their health, or if they have some other needs that I can take care of as a mother. I'm gonna use this propensity and this role that I was put in, and in this way fulfill my hankerings of acting in my role. Plus, I'm gonna be using it in the mission of self-realization. So this is double benefit, right? It's properly utilized. It's Krishna Sambandha Vastu. It's being aware of how things are connected with Krishna, or how things can be connected with Krishna. And in this way, we'll be fulfilled. Our motherly sense will be nourished, right? And that goes for every identification that we have as senior members of the society, as leaders of the family, as whatever we identify with, or whatever position we've been put in, if we connected with Krishna consciousness. So this is not just like, okay, I'm a devotee now, I'm gonna dress a devotee, I'm gonna put tilak on, I'm gonna go to the temple for the Sunday feast or for the festival, I'm gonna hear bhajans while I cook. It's also, this is all there, and this is the basis of it, but we really need to connect with the mission. So that is in spreading Krishna consciousness. And we all know this famous saying that we always have to preach. And sometimes if we're being asked, we can also say something, right? So that means preaching is not just speaking, preaching is living the philosophy. Like, we have to be a living example, right? Person Bhagavata, not just book Bhagavata, but a person Bhagavata. A living example of the teachings of the Goswamis, right? So person can come and see us, and everyone who comes in contact with us, it's like a saloon, right? You go there to buy a car, and then you want to see the car, and you want to drive the car around, and then you're going to decide if you're going to buy it or not, right? You won't just buy your car online, right? I don't think any one of you bought a car online. You all tried the car before. You heard about it, you heard its glories, then you went to see it, you tried it for yourself, and then you decided, okay, I'm gonna get this car or that car, right? And the same, people are not just gonna take our word for it about Krishna consciousness and how nice it is and how this is the main thing and we should follow this. No, we have to show them so they would see, okay, this is a person who is Krishna conscious. This is how a Krishna conscious mother looks like. This is how a Krishna conscious student looks like. And then people will identify with it, and people will be impressed, and people will be inspired to also pursue this. And this is the magic of Krishna consciousness, that it doesn't matter what position we're in, and we think, okay, I'm hampered by this position. I'm not gonna be able to live my Krishna consciousness in such a great capacity because I'm this, I'm that, and these other persons have it so much better because they are like this or they're like that. No, actually, whatever position we're in, it's to our advantage because we can reach those people that others cannot reach. For instance, I cannot reach your work colleagues or your social circle. I don't know, the ladies that you make garlands with, or the ladies in the neighborhood that come together and, I don't know, discuss about how we can enhance the beauty of the neighborhood or whatever. I don't know these persons and I cannot reach them, but you are very much there and they know you. So you are their link to Krishna consciousness. And that's your role, right? Prabhupada says in this letter, famous letter, he says, hopefully by 1975, all of my disciples will act as gurus, right? He was speaking about the education in the society and how the society will spread. And this is what he said, that by 1975, all our disciples, members of the society, will be acting as gurus. So we have to take this seriously. This is not just some like fever dream of Srila Prabhupada. This is practical Krishna consciousness. So by us first assessing our identity and then trying to connect it in all means possible with the mission of Srila Prabhupada, then our confidence, self-confidence, and our identity are going to be put into the right way, into the right perspective, like that. Is that okay?
Beautifully explained, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is a very important question, actually. Okay, I think we can do one more, and then we can finish. It's a holiday.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
You mentioned about as a mother, we need to show to our kids our live by example. At the moment, I have one of my kids become conflict on my belief. He came back. He become born again. So um, how do I show our daily life the how Vaishnava or how Krishna consciousness living by example. So how can I convince him to become a Krishna consciousness? Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a real life situation, right? This is where we can live our Krishna conscious philosophy, right? If we just hear about it in the class and life is good and everything is fine, then we won't really change, or we won't be really forced to integrate this knowledge that we hear from the books and from presenters of the books. So in your situation, the kid took this path because he wasn't feeling it, right? He wasn't really seeing it in a practical way that would be applicable to their life and that would bring some benefit to their quest for happiness, for fulfillment of their desires. So yeah, you tried your best, you follow the principles, you read the books, and you try to live by the books. And then your part is fulfilled. But then there's also free will that people have, right? Our family members are not under our jurisdictions because we're not in any way superior to them in terms of the tattva, right? We are spirit souls. So as such, we all have free will. And that means, okay, they are under your custody because you're the mother and they're the kids. But this is just temporary. And this role runs out, right? It's limited in time and space also, obviously. So we try to fulfill it, but the results of it are not under our control. So who knows what this person's faith is, right? What their path is back towards Krishna, towards spiritual abode. Or maybe they were destined to leave you much sooner, right? And start doing their own thing. But because you were so well representing Krishna consciousness, they stayed so much longer. Or the relationship would be much more complicated or more dramatic. But because you had Krishna conscious life, this is a mitigated situation. So we don't know, right? We don't know what karma is being unfolded. And we also shouldn't think, okay, because this person is now taking shelter in other religious group, now this is bad situation. And if they would come with me to the mandir and they would chant Hare Krishna, that would be a good situation. We cannot say, because we don't know how Krishna is guiding them. So maybe by them taking shelter in this particular religious group, they're gonna see it from the outside and they're gonna clear their doubts about this group and our group, and then they're gonna grow through these means, and this is gonna bring them closer to Krishna ultimately. So we cannot say, right? We cannot say what is better for a person. And also we shouldn't, like, you are very worried, right? You are in front of a big obstacle that you don't know how to overcome. But actually, this is not something that you can control, right? The wisdom means that you are able to identify the situations that you have control over and the situations that you don't have control over, and that you renounce worries and trying to act in the situations that we don't have control over, and that you act and you focus your energy in the situations that you have control over. And this is wisdom. This is what it means to be smart, wise. So clearly in this situation, you don't have control over it. So you don't have to worry about it because it's under Krishna's control, right? Not a single blade of grass moves without sanction of Krishna. So have faith that this is Krishna's plan and this is happening because Krishna wants it to happen. And obviously it's destroying your illusion of being a nice mother, because obviously kid is doing something that a nice mother wouldn't have to go through. And this is good because this is not your soul identity, right? This is just a temporary role that you've been put in. And it's not that you're a bad person now or you're something less because some other kids are going to the temple and they're chanting the shlokas and this and that, and your kids are just doing something completely different. No, this doesn't define you as a spirit soul who's trying to reconnect with Krishna in the association of devotees. And Krishna gave you this situation as a blessing, so you would be able to renounce it, renounce this prestige that you were trying to accumulate through being a mother. And you can also use this capacity with other devotees, right? Because being a mother, it's not just you're a mother to 2 children or how many children you have. Being a mother is a role that you have to exhibit towards all the living entities, right? Not just humans, but also animals and plants. So being a mother is a mindset. And by you exhibiting it in some other capacity than just your human beings who were born of your body, is gonna help you understand this, that being a mother is a bigger thing, right? And in society of Krishna conscious devotees is a perfect grounds for it, right? There's so many members of the society who have this need of feeling this motherly affection. So you can easily go and exhibit it towards them, right? Brahmacharis, we're like kids of the society, children of the society, right? This is what the scriptures say. So this is very easily for you, right? There's so many temple devotees and there's so many sannyasis, and you can always take care of them in this way. And also other kids, right? Other children. Like we have examples in our community here where mothers are gladly taking care, giving shelter to younger members of our society who lost their parents or their relationship with them. So they have this need to have someone as their parent. And then senior ladies in our community take this role. And it's working nicely, right? Because it's natural. So you don't have to worry about it. Krishna is in charge and he's taking care of it. And you trying to be at peace with the situation through understanding of our philosophy and also acting practically on it, it's going to help you grow in your Krishna consciousness a lot. And you're going to be thanking Krishna that he put you in this position in a while. If you're going to try to do it, to follow it. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. That's beautiful. And I told him that if he's, as Prabhupada said, that if you're Christian or Catholic or born again, be born again and do as a born again, be happy and do act as well as a born again. And I support him of his understanding of how I just like, I'm not comparing born again and Hare Krishna consciousness, but I showed to him that this is how we do it. We chant early morning, we offer for the deities early morning, and we do like, because I think he's worried about material things. I told him before that when being Hare Krishna, we need to gradually surrender all material things, because nowadays teenagers are more on phone, worried about their material, like more important thinking is their material things, that how can I get this, how can I earn this, how they're worried about all of this. And I think he wasn't ready to go on this path for being surrender in the end.
That's all right. That's all right. What we have to be aware is that it doesn't mean that a person who is declaring himself externally as Hare Krishna is automatically doing better in terms of realizing his consciousness, as opposed to a person who's following any other religious group, and they automatically are considered less than us because they're obviously not Hare Krishna. It's not like that. Actually, these are all external designations, right? And these rituals that you described, just by doing them, we don't advance our Krishna consciousness. We have to be aware of the principles behind it and why we do it. And then we will exhibit qualities that are presented in the books, right? And once we are internalizing this, then it doesn't matter the outer designation, right? So he can as well become more advanced than you if he's going to follow sincerely the prescribed path for his religious group. And this is the magic of Krishna consciousness, that it's not limited by external designation, right? Bhakti, devotional service, is something that is internal, and it's between us and the Supreme Lord. So we cannot judge by external designations. Oh, this person is doing good, this person is doing bad. This person is advanced, this person is not advanced. We will see by the qualities and by the character of the person. So let us be more accommodating and see the bigger picture in it.
Thank you, Prabhu. He is a good kid. So yeah. Thank you so much. That is a blessing to open up today. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. If somebody has some more questions, you can send them to Sanatan or Sneha Bhakti, and we'll look into it gladly. So thank you for coming, and see you in a few hours, right? Hopefully. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.